Did you ever get time?
Always do. Very much. My granddaughter kept his visit.
You took your granddaughter there? How old is she?
Four of them.
So was it three of you?
Well, we had, there's a whole, we had four plus. Out of count.
How are you doing?
Julie was there. Okay. Leah was there. No.
Don't tell me.
Julie Glenn.
Their daughter.
Oh, your daughter. Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was gonna go
Yeah.
bring it in.
No, it's.
My phone's out.
Here.
I'll just show him a picture so he knows.
I can show you pictures sometime.
No,
You're welcome to come.
In Mexico. Now they're in a, going to a
Are
country
you up or down?
full of.
I can't hear you.
They're gonna come down.
I'll just tell you sometime.
Oh,
Something.
we only have 30 seconds.
Surveys.
Oh.
Michelle and their.
Gonna be overseas.
Thank you all for coming. I'll call to order the meeting of the city of Page for February 17th, 2026, and we'll have roll calls.
Christine Doan,
Wait, well, this, Tom Lemon.
Rose Corporal,
Candace Blade.
Megan Jansen.
Lydia Bryan Valdez.
And Harvey Davis, so we have a full council and full house. So we do the pledge of allegiance.
One nation.
So as you can tell from the agenda, I am resigning as mayor at this meeting, and I'd like the council to please accept my desire and accept my resignation.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to nominate Lydia Bryan Valdez to be.
We're not.
We accept her. You gotta get rid of this guy.
You gotta get rid of the guy.
Like, don't accept it.
I
make a motion to accept the mayor's resignation.
That's what we need to do, so.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Regretfully.
Thank you.
We know where you live. We have your phone number too.
And so now the mayor's seat is vacant. And so and it's up to the council if they want to appoint a new mayor. So we have that on the agenda. Consider and take appropriate action to appoint a new mayor.
Okay. Again, would like to nominate Lydia Bryan Valdez as mayor, city of Hills.
A second.
All in favor?
I can't vote.
You have
I can't
Tell
vote.
me about that.
I can't vote.
Lydia? You have the meeting now.
You
Oh.
Now,
got-
we have to swear you in.
Right.
And fortunately, we have Ms. Sandra,
Judge.
Judge Brian.
We're honored to have you.
Honored.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Whoa.
oh my goodness. That's beautiful.
Yes,
Oh, my goodness.
nice.
Look at
So
how
two
that's.
statements I'm gonna have you read.
You'd like to take the vote? Sure.
I'm sorry about this wire.
No, you're good.
No.
I don't have a copy to it. No, you have a copy.
You have an extra copy?
Sorry, we'll be right there.
Yes.
Not yet. It'll come after this.
They're getting their copies. Hi, everyone. I'm Judge Sandra Ryan, Hayes, precinct 500. Precinct 500 Buda. So I cover the entire city of Buda and then north of Kyle, west of excuse me, east of Camino Real, all the way down to Turnersville. That's my area, and then I go all the way to Ruby Ranch, back this way, all the way to 2778, 1626. That's the geographical area I cover. I've been a judge for fourth year, first term. And I'm on the ballot this year, but I don't have an opponent at all.
Wow.
So I will continue my judgeship to 2030. Thank you so much. And then my office is located 500 Jackson Hayes Trail, which is right down Main Street over there by Esther's. Yeah, a little next to the Indian Creek Care Center. So we own that area up there, and we have a very interesting job. We do lots of things. One of them is sworn in inquests, and inquests is for those who don't know, we are the medical examiner for our precinct. So we go out to every death in the area. And so anytime, someone calls 24/7. I actually enjoy that part of my job as well. So just a little bit longer, I did myself in case it wasn't no less.
Is it like CSI?
No.
Wondering about that.
So you're gonna repeat after me, you're gonna raise your right hand. And tell me your full name. Yes, actually, sorry about that. You read your full. Okay.
Sorry about that.
You're gonna repeat after me. I, Lydia Brian Valdez,
I, Lydia Brian Valdez,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will not directly
that I will not directly
or indirectly pay,
or indirectly pay,
offered,
offered,
promised to pay,
promise to pay,
contribute,
contribute,
or promise to contribute any money
promise to contribute any money
or anything of value,
anything of value,
or promise any public office
promise any public office
or employment
or employment
for the giving or withholding
for giving or withholding
of a vote
of a vote
at the election
at the election
at which I was elected,
at which I was elected,
or as a reward
as reward
to secure my appointment
to secure my appointment
or confirmation,
or confirmation,
whichever the case may be,
whichever the case may be,
so help me God.
so help me God.
So the title of your position is now mayor. Congratulations. The oath of office. In the name and authority of the state of Texas. I, Lydia Ryan Valdez,
I, Lydia Brian Valdez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly
that
swear
I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of
the duties of
the office of
the office of
mayor,
mayor,
city of Hayes,
city of Hayes,
of the state of Texas,
and state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So now you may take your seat. About these forms, and then I need to notarize them, but I need to come back, so I'll send my notary. I'll notarize them, and I'll bring them back, and then you're good. Yes, you will need to sign these.
Oh, wow.
How you doing over there?
He's getting closer and closer to.
Lydia gonna be a fantastic mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
Myra's getting retired, really retired now, right?
Should become the world traveler.
Well, traveler.
Hope so.
Is it only this one?
On the back. Right. Yes. I have a favorite.
Yeah, we all have it.
My favorite.
Good man. Yeah, thank you.
Judge, you speak for yourself. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're the opposite. You're the opposite. I'm here, I swear.
Well, it's those two, but. Stop with clap.
Okay, so this one I'm going to take with me because I need to notarize it.
Is there understanding that it doesn't need to be on the rest like it's a judge?
I'm gonna go with whatever Judge Bryant says.
It's not because you're a judge, it doesn't need to be.
He's got the right.
Because it's an other person authorized to administer the oath.
Yeah, so I can notarize it.
Whatever you wish. It's your decision.
Okay, I'm gonna take this.
We make sure.
Okay.
I like that.
Thank you so much,
You're
Judge.
quite welcome. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity.
Oh my God.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll bring this
Thank you,
back.
Judge Bryant.
I'll be back.
Thank you both.
It's a wonderful evening.
Bye-bye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, take a picture. Oh.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Put it up on. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, let's have pictures.
I have.
I always wondered about.
No, actually.
Yeah.
They're gonna run out the door just yet. He's trying to get out.
Very much. No, but
Oh.
He's good at, oh, love it.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, that goes back in.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Right.
Thank you.
I said you.
Thank you, I will.
Thank you. Mayor Harvey, would you like a seat?
I'm still here. You don't need to worry about me.
He's like, anymore. My gosh. Thank you everyone for being here. Greatly appreciate it. I'm honored to serve as the mayor of the city of Hayes. I was the unopposed candidate for 24-26 and could not take my term because I work for TechStop.
You still work for next.
Right, I retired December 31st. Right, I retired December 31st after 20 years. When I said, well, I'm going to be the new mayor, they said, no, you're not, but the conflict of interest. Because our main road, 1626, the city has one entrance and one exit, and both ties into the state system. And so we called Mayor Harvey and said, please, will you be our mayor? And with everything that he had on his plate, he agreed to be our mayor and will forever be grateful. Forever be grateful for his service. And not only that, has he done wonders for our city and our finances and all of that. And I tell you, we know where he lives and we have his phone number. And we asked him, if we transition, whomever they appoint, will you please help us continue, because he's a magnificent CPA and has invested our funds very well and kept us in very good financial condition. And we've asked him, would you continue to serve as our CPA and our treasurer? And he said, if you ask me in March, because he wants to consider that for a bit, but we're really gonna hope he does that for us, and we're grateful for all of his service for, you served 3 terms as mayor, Mayor Harvey? 3 terms, starting in, is it 2014? 2014. And the last one, when he began in 2024, in May, 23, was it the 24 to 26 term? So it was in 24, May 24? It was May 24 to, it should have been May 26. And we were honored that he served with his wife, Dr. Gail Hudgens. Gail Hudgens was also a city councilwoman and served with us until 1 week prior to her death. She served at the last council meeting in January, and I'm sorry, in October, and passed November 5th of that year. And Mayor Harvey, even with all that was on his plate and mourning the loss of his beautiful wife after 40 years, he continued to serve. At that time, he could have said, I'm done, but continued to serve. And for that, we can never repay him for that. And he helped us so much. Mayor Harvey, we greatly appreciate you and all that you've done for the city.
Thank you, babe.
We're gonna have a celebration for Mayor Harvey in March, and the invitations will be coming soon for that. But thank you, everyone. And let's see, Mayor Harvey did the roll call, pledge of allegiance, the City of Hayes mayor transition. Next, we would like to introduce our new part-time employee, Megan no, first, we're gonna introduce our part-time employee, Megan Tampton. And Megan, would you like to say a few words at our podium? Megan joined us, was it 3 weeks ago, Megan?
I think that's right, yeah. 5D.
Hi, I'm Megan Sampson.
Yes.
I've been in Austin since 2006. I went to the University of Texas. Me and my husband have been here since 2012. I have 3 kids. Malachi is 10, Evie is gonna be 8, and Eli is 4. And I have been in education my entire career, so about 16 years. And I know Christine and Lydia because I had the blessing of teaching Sophie, which is Christine's daughter, for her first time that she ever preschool. So she was 3. So the first time she ever got to be in school. And it was a really wonderful year we had, and they're very, very special to me. And I feel very, very honored to be part of this community as well. I like to take positions or jobs or projects that are based in service and based in taking care of the needs of other people. That's really important to me. And so I'm just honored to be here to help serve y'all's community.
Thank you. Megan, can you provide, I'm sorry, briefly, can you provide your educational background?
Like where I went to school?
Yes, please.
So I went to the University of Texas, and then I went to Texas A&M.
How divided with oneself? Do you bleed orange or maroon? We need to know.
My whole family is from Texas A&M.
Asking for a friend.
My whole family's from Texas A&M, including my husband, and I went to UT because I wanted to be different, and I bleed orange. But
Thank you so much. We're glad that you're here. Now, Megan Tanton still has contractual commitments with her current employers. And so she's working in increments of time for the city on special projects as a special projects community coordinator. And she's already doing training and all kinds of, the list is, and we said, don't scare her off, please, too soon, because we have so much going on. She's gonna be helping us with that. I may also add that our city secretary did resign on Friday, Mayor Heidi. Is it Friday? She was with us for 2.5 years. We'd like to thank her for her service. If she plays the recording, then we hope that she joins us. But she was with us for 2.5 years. We're grateful for her service to the city. She's moved on to other things as well. We had an overlap. Megan joined us a few weeks prior, and then Cynthia decided that she was leaving our team. But we're really excited about what the future holds, and we have so much work to do, and Mayor Harvey can attest to that. But there's so much going on. But thank you for coming. And if Megan, because she has little, she may leave before the end of the meeting, but we told her the city of Hayes is very family oriented and we're supportive of our moms, our hardworking moms raising their families. So if she has to leave, then please know that that is absolutely okay with us. And thank you for the intro. I appreciate that. We will now go on to public comments. And Mayor Harvey, Mayor Emeritus Harvey, would you like to start, sir?
Thank you. I just want to say how much I appreciate being the mayor. This was a great council, a really good council, the best council that there were at over all the councils. And nice, but this is the best. And I do want to recognize Cynthia, who worked here several years. We wish her the best. See her at the Y, so. I gonna work to stay fit and have a good, nice retirement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Harvey. Mayor Emeritus Harvey. Next is Hannah Baloo, is that correct?
I just wanted to say thank you, Mayor Harvey. You know, been many, many more years than I have, but in the 6 years that we've lived here, all the work that you've done in this community has been wonderful. And you know, I know that you're looking forward to this new stage, new phase. But I know that you'll still be involved, and I just want to thank you for all your work. And I also wanted to say, Lydia, congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I know that you really wanted this, and I know that you're going to be a fantastic leader.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your support, Hannah. I will also be calling you Hannah. Special committees between your RS program and pharmacology. We hope that you can help us, continue to help us. Next up is Teresa Lemon. Teresa, we have
Can I sit by Harvey when we're done?
3 minutes. Absolutely.
The hot seat. So I'm Teresa Lemon, and I live at 12600 Live Oak Lane. And I also wanted to thank both Harvey and Lydia and the whole city council. It's been very interesting to me, all the many hats that y'all have worn and the amazing amount of like information that y'all have had to absorb if you make a lot of really difficult decisions. So thank you. I did notice that it's on the agenda that you're going to discuss what I had brought up last time, an interlocal agreement on enforcement. I'm thanking you. I'm also going to ask, if possible, that y'all continue to move quickly on it. I was out of town for 8 days. We came back, more trash bags, more trash, loose trash. Same noise. I won't be able to open my windows if I want to enjoy my own property. I'm in a catch-22 right now, and I want to explain this because it ties into my complaints. We've had the same cats in our yard at least once or twice a day. And Tom and I love animals. We've always in the past had dogs and cats, and we actually chose to no longer have cats because we knew not to let them out. If you want to have birds and native wildlife, it's so we don't have cats, so we like them. I do continually have my neighbor's cats in my yard, and just before we left, and now because spring is here really early, the birds are trying to nest, and we put out bird food and water, and it's one of our pleasures. But I woke up again this morning. It's horrible hearing the cats go through our trees on our property. They're going for the bird nest. And I've spoken to the neighbors. I've been told by, and this is kind of my catch-22 about where I feel when we can't enforce our own city codes. I'm in this middle. I've been told I have to take photos of these cats, and then when I turn them in, that a local animal enforcer will come and I think go through steps of ticketing or picking up the animals, which makes me feel kind of sad, because if people don't pay the fine or claim the cat to keep them inside, they'll be destroyed. So that puts me again in this middleman position that is getting tiresome. Okay. I also wanted, the second thing is I wanted to give a citizen's opinion, if that's all right, about, at the last meeting, there was discussion about food pantry. And I personally don't want it, and I'm gonna give an example. A week ago, it was probably about 8 o'clock, it was dark. I was coming home slowly up the street, and a car in front of me was moving from left to right slowly, and I backed and slowed down because I thought, well, they're looking for street numbers or lost, correct? And our streets are dark. But it was odd because the car stopped right in front of the, I'm gonna say the house that's been a problem for me. They stopped right in the middle of the street. They got out, and at that point, I'm kind of wondering what's going on. So I just sat in my car and watched, and that person got out of the car and kind of walked up to sort of the front yard and then back to the side. They were carrying like maybe a Gatorade or a jug of orange juice. And then they saw people on the side of the house, and I sat in my car and watched. It was obvious that they were collecting food, because there was a lot of stuff. Was this dangerous? No. Was it a problem? No. But it does make me uncomfortable to think that if we run a food pantry, that people would be coming into the neighborhood, you know, looking for where they're going or what they're doing. And I'll be honest, I just didn't like it. It made me uncomfortable. I was worried about the person that got out of the car because they seemed confused. And I just want to put that out for your consideration, that I think a pantry like that in our dark neighborhood is not a good idea. The last thing is, I'm just going to repeat that I hope that we expedite a solution to code enforcement. I mean, I don't really know, except for what y'all have shared, what you're up against, but it sounds like we'll be getting some kind of.
Today.
Okay, but thanks again, and thanks for all your service.
Thank you so much, Val. Thank you. The next item on the agenda.
We
Oh, we have one more, pardon me. Young lady. Yeah. Michelle Adams. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good evening. My name is Michelle Adams. I'm a resident of Elliott Ranch, not the city. But I wanted to thank you guys for your service and for the diligence that you show in managing the water systems through the difficult circumstances that arise. Although I live outside the city limits, my home is serviced by the city of Hayes Wells, and I'm here tonight as a private citizen and a customer of your utility. In the previous communities that I've served, I was liaison with the City of Austin Council, specifically working with the Texas Department of Transportation and Texas Parks and Wildlife, where we successfully balance community integrity and sustainable growth. I know how much work goes into these roles that you guys volunteer for, and I truly appreciate your leadership. I'm here to warmly request that the city prioritize an application for the HB 500 water supply and infrastructure grant. As you know from a recent webinar that I think one or more of you were on, this is a one-time $1 billion fund from the Texas Water Development Board. It offers 100% grant funding, no local matching, and no debt. This is a critical opportunity for us to secure our future, as well as throughout the Hill Country face increasing pressure. The public comment period just closed on February 4th, and they're finalizing the rules this week. This is a historic one-time $1 billion window, and I wanted to help ensure that the city of Hayes is at the front of that line. They're specifically encouraging regional solutions. I believe those will be a priority, and there is a significant opportunity for the city to partner with neighbors like Mountain City or maybe Ranch to apply for shared funding. This could fund a permanent interconnect with the Alliance Water Project via VUTA, providing a safety net for all of us. I'm asking that the council ensure that the 2025 fiscal year end audit is completed, to direct engineering teams to begin the project information form process that you may apply for the grant when it opens this spring. This is a public board meeting. There's a public board meeting for the board on February 19th, where they're likely to discuss the public comments. Thank you for everything you guys do for the community, and I just want to encourage applying for that.
Thank you so much, Ms. Adams. We appreciate it. The next item On our agenda, this new business, we will receive an update from Barton Springs Edwards Aquifer Conservation District, Mr. Charlie Flatton, about our current drought conditions. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you. So. Nice pen. Whose pen is this?
Mine.
Mine.
They're the only kind I use. Thank you.
My name is Charlie Flatton. I'm with the Barton Springs Edwards Aquifer Conservation District. And I'm here to talk about the drought update. As many of you know, if you ignore Saturday, it hadn't rained in about 10 years. That was substantial enough to really add anything back to the aquifers, which is what we all rely on. We need rain, and we need rain to fall in enough volumes where the creeks actually flow. When it rains and the creeks don't flow, we don't get any recharge on our aquifers. If it rains and the creeks do flow, then that's when we see aquifers come up. The Edwards Aquifer is beneath our feet, and it is struggling right now. I drove around the neighborhood on my way in here, and I really appreciate the fact that I don't see any, Jamaica style rain gardens or, really, I mean, looks like you guys aren't doing a lot of grass watering as well. So that really makes a huge impact in the state of Texas. We reckon that somewhere in the neighborhood of 40% of the water that's made fit for drinking for our citizens is then put on grass. So if we can wean ourselves away from that, we'll have a lot more water for the future. I brought some drought charts. If you want to pass them around, if you want one, you can have one. If you don't, you can pass the stack down. I brought a flyer for it. Place for it.
The council members have the copies in their packets. If anyone else in the audience would like one, we can pass them out. It's in the recording doc.
Hang them up. Oh, look at that. No, get a big one.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's a good one.
Get yourself.
Thank you. We'll share that.
So this is what we're going to talk about. First of all, the drought's important, and it's 3 foot. I printed in my article in last week's newspaper. And talked about many of the things that I'll be talking about today. Thank you, Michelle, for bringing up the grant. That's really a great opportunity for small towns to really expand their portfolio with no cost to them except it's hard to write a grant, it's hard to get a grant through, and then you got to report on the grant. But if you can manage that, team up with some of your neighbors to see what kind of money you can get out of the water board. It's not a loan. It's real money that they would like to provide to small towns that need to fix up their infrastructure or diversify their water portfolio. If we turn to the stage 3 drought flyer, I'll talk about our charts here. First of all, the January rainfall summary was not great. January is not usually a very wet month, but we usually get more rain than we got. We got 1 inch of rain, which left us in a deficit of 2.6 inches for the month. And so far in February, we were at 0 until Saturday. February, by the way, is the driest month of the year. And we got 3/4 of an inch, which I would say was great. We have a couple of weeks to make up the deficit, which we're in right now for February. We usually get about 2 inches historically. So when we're thinking about rainfall, the rain that we got in January was mostly ice, it was mostly sleet, and that was nice. That's a that eventually turns into water, and the trees and the grass love that little bit of moisture, but it didn't do anything for the aquifers. I'm told that we're looking at about 50-inch deficit in rainfall over the last 5 years. So that's a Central Texas thing. Once you drive north, I don't know if anybody's driven north in the last couple of weeks, but once you get above Georgetown, things green up pretty nicely. It's really, Dallas, all the way up to Dallas, back to actually Oklahoma. They've gotten a tremendous amount of rain, and they're looking really nice. East Texas has gotten its rain, South Texas has gotten its rain. The hill country really has a lot. And the healthiest part of the hill country right now is the Kerrville area, but they've had to pay for that very dramatically. So they're not out of drought, but they're not in the terrible state we're in here. We're in the sort of the bullseye. I guess that's a matter of luck. If you look at the drought page that I gave you, you'll see that Hays County has got some hardcore drought in it, and the whole county is covered in some form of drought. That would be the bottom right illustration. As far as the precipitation outlook is concerned, we're sort of entering in out of La Nina, which is a dry period, and we're entering into a neutral period. I call it El Nada. It's not El Nino, and it's not La Nina, but we're not expecting more rainfall than usual, and we're not expecting less rainfall than usual. We're expecting normal amounts of rainfall, which these days means it might not rain for another 10 years. So we have to be very careful as a community and conserve water. Water you conserve today is the water that you may need this summer. And so the more you can cut back, you guys do a great job. You're we like to show other utilities what a good job you all do because you're very conservative with water. And we appreciate it, and your neighbors appreciate it. And the folks that have private wells appreciate it because they're not getting shown down as much as they are. So the great question is, how do we measure drought? Usually you walk outside and everything, the grass is dead. That's a good indicator. We use a little more sophisticated methodology. We have some index wells that are placed around the county and in Travis County, up to these two counties. And they are at historic lows. The main index well is called Love Lady Well, and it is at its lowest point that we've ever seen. That will be the upper right graphic on that large piece of paper. You can see that the heavy black line running across the middle of that graphic, that's the average well levels, annual well levels, and we are way, way down. The blue line is the line that tracks the levels over time. You can see that 2020 we were in pretty bad shape, but we got some rain and the well picked back up, but it slowly degraded again, and now we're back to the lowest point that it's ever been measured at. That's bad news. That's a real indicator for Hays County and south of southern part of the district. The other measure that we use is the spring flow at Barton Springs. That's a really good indicator of a whole lot itself. But that whole lot is pushing on the water that comes out of the spring. Average spring flow is about 45 cubic feet per second. Here comes your notary.
Oh. Thank you.
Average spring flow is about 45 cubic feet per second, and cubic feet is a weird thing to think about. And what does that even mean? A cubic foot is about the size of a basketball. So if you can imagine 45 basketballs coming out every second, that's what we usually are accustomed to at Barton Springs. Right now we're at 12. Wow, which is super low, and it is the lowest that's ever been reported at Barton Springs in the what 150 years that people have been there. So we're in dire straits, I would say. The Edwards Aquifer is what we've been talking about. Below the Edwards Aquifer, there's the Trinity Aquifer, which is another limestone aquifer, not used by folks right around here, but we use it almost extensively in western Clark County. It is decreasing at states unseen before as well. And we all know that Jacobs Well Spring in Wimberley has gone dry. It has been dry for months and months and months. And it has only started going dry in the last 3 or 4 years. And prior to that, there was never an instance of it ever. So we have a really bad combination of explosive growth that we really don't have any control over, and a drought that we also don't have any control over. So, but one thing that we do have the ability to manage our consumption. You guys are already doing a great job. Makes my job a lot easier when I can come into a room and I know that the community is taking it seriously. Rather than going to some of the places, probably know what I'm talking about, where everything's lusciously green and there's, yeah. So we'll leave those guys to their own conscience, and I hope it works out. The monthly rain outlook, I brought that up earlier. We're coming into spring. Springs when we get a whole lot of rain. We also get a whole lot of rain in the fall. We didn't get very much rain this fall, but we can hope for the upcoming spring and hope that El Nino, the side La Nada, and we can actually get some normal rainfall. But those of you who have lived in Texas long enough know that Texas is consistently droughty, and it's punctuated by horrible flash floods every 5 or 10 years. So have to be careful for what we wish. I'm very happy to answer any questions. Prediction on when we go into the next stage of drought. I think that's maybe on lots of folks' minds. Right now we're in stage 3, that exceptional drought. We are poised right on the edge of stage 4 emergency response drought that will require an even steeper cutback for some folks on their permitting and their consumption. If we get no rain, this rain on Saturday bumped us up a little bit, gives me more extra time. But if it doesn't rain again, we can expect to go into that more severe drought stage, most severe drought stage, around the beginning of April. District has never been in the stage before. This is a most of these. It's going to be, tough to manage. You guys, like, you're already doing a pretty good job, so you've got yourself ready for it. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
People that pump water out of the Trinity,
Yes.
does that affect the available water in the Edwards Aquifer?
No, those two aquifers are secondary by a pretty solid layer of shale, and so that's an impermeable surface. There's some faulting and there is some communication between the two, but generally speaking, the water that's pumped out of Trinity doesn't directly affect the water.
And the permitting, if you have a large water user that wants a permit to take a lot of water out of the Trinity, can you tell them no, that there's just not enough water?
Well, we can tell them no, but we'll get sued. And we're not, super interested in that. We can tell them, no, thank you, and offer them a less amount of water than what they're asking.
And they would sue you and win because
Because we're interfering with their property rights.
there's not enough water.
Agreed.
But does the same hold true with the Edwards?
The Edwards is historically capped at a certain volume, so we can't, we can issue a permit. We do issue permits for new Edwards water, but it is 100% curtailable. If you want a new Edwards permit, we will give you an Edwards permit. But the moment we go into stage 2 drought, you don't get to use any more water. Okay, so that's how we manage that. The 100% curtailment process. And then they'll drill down to the Trinity, and I think we're probably, I see Hayes Commons is on the agenda for later on.
Right.
Anybody, we have a question.
Yeah, well, I think going to say something about.
They will be entering the permitting process, so it'll be interesting to see how they proceed.
Thank you.
My question is, when somebody has a permit and that they can, or permit to pump so much water out of the aquifer, and you said that they're capped if they go above the permit or below the permit, depending on which aquifers they're in?
Everybody who has a permit has a maximum amount that they may produce.
May.
If you have a historical Edwards permit like you folks have here, and you've demonstrated that you've been using this amount of water over the years, and we issued a permit for that amount.
Okay.
If a new guy comes in and they want an Edwards permit, then we'll issue them a curtailable, 100% curtailable permit. So they can use water when we're not in drought. When we're in drought, you all are here first, so you have
So first right of refusal, huh?
first, yeah, you can think about it that way.
So I want to clarify, a private well owner, let's say in Buda, when they have their private well, I guess the certificate, and the house is, let's say, 100 years old, which is kind of what's happening, that private well owner can pump out as much water as they want with no repercussions?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. It's to even private wells, pumping volumes. And we usually regulate that through the size of the pump. How much the pump can physically do that, not allow a pump that exceeds the volume set by state law for how much can be. And to cap that, to be considered what we call an exempt well, like what you're talking about, a private well for domestic purposes, the lot has to be more than 10 acres. So if it's smaller than 10 acres lot, it's still a domestic well. You still allow that water to be produced, but it's not what we consider exempt. And they're subject to the balance.
So over 10, you probably enter like agricultural or other.
Well, I think it's homestead type folks, and for the longest time, that was what most everybody down here was.
Right.
Yeah.
I have one more question, and people might need to help me. Did anyone else a few weeks ago, there was a news feed, whoever online about Buda, Kyle, what's going on in our cities, and it had that photograph of the 5 men in hard hats standing in that big tunnel. And it was, the photo referred to, I think that this tunnel was going under Lake Travis to go deeper into aquifers to pump out water for Travis County. And I couldn't find other information. Is this anything you've heard of?
Sounds to me like Williamson County municipalities are looking for a deeper withdrawal point to get water out of Lake Travis.
Right.
And so I believe that's
I think that's
maybe what you're talking.
But that, from what you said earlier, will not affect the aquifers that we're dealing with on this end.
Nothing above Lake Travis has any real interference with what's on that.
I was just curious about the third well that you have permitted. Is that a curtailment permit?
I'm not sure. I didn't bone up on the.
I was just curious.
Well, this is the thing. But if you have specific questions, feel free to call the district office and we will answer those specific questions for you.
Does anyone else have any questions for Mr.
Yes,
Sharp? Oh, go ahead, sir.
With all this new building, behind us over here, there's a big subdivision. They're making a lake, over here. I thought that they're doing 250 slots plus homes around.
Is that the RV?
Yeah, and that's right behind, and behind large group of homes here. We're on Country Oaks, and but I mean they've been digging and building and stuff like that. And I'd like to know how that's going to affect the water, because I believe they have a permit to go down to the Trinity. And is that going to affect us? And then there's 550 homes that are being built on the other side, and 2,500 homes right over here.
So to my knowledge, that RV park and the new development, which is that the old drag track?
Yes.
Right, so those will be lower, well, or even further separated by another layer of shale. So it should not affect your water system.
We're in the private.
So you're probably usually private wells and driving up there, AGD Edwards. So you're-
on Trinity.
I'm sorry,
I'm told ours are in the Trinity.
well, there are neighbors.
Yeah, so I don't know if yours is
Yeah.
the same person, I think that made ours.
Yeah, we're on the Edwards. Now, I understand, the gentleman that used to live next to us, he was with the Edwards Aquifer. And, he told me that we're above a cistern. And we had, I don't know how many billions of gallons of water. We wouldn't run out of water, well, we would run out of water after everybody else did, so I don't know how.
You're very fortunate.
Where do you live?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, the Edwards is totally separate from Middle Trinity. And those two are totally separate from the Lower Trinity. So without knowing exactly where you are in Trinity, I would be able to tell you how you're going to be affected by it. If you stop with the Edwards, I'd say you will. It's still.
Is there a way to find out?
Yes, you can call the office and we've got 12 spots for most of the wells that are. And you can find that information yourself. This is a fascinating website. If you go to the Texas Water Development Board Well Finder website, and you push go, the state map comes up and 80 billion blue dots. Like that's everybody's well. And then you scroll down and you click the orange button. Those are all the new wells since 1920,000 or something like that. And 80 billion orange dots. It means it's all alarming. And then you can zoom into your neighborhood, zoom into your house, and you can see who has a well around you and where it's drilled into. All that information is publicly available. Part of the time,
Water development.
Texas Water Development Board, well,
So we have one more question, Ms. Anna Baloo.
I just have a question. Is there, since we are entering into probably in April, unprecedented drought?
no, we got to hope for rain.
Okay, we're hoping for rain,
Thank
but it's Texas, so it's realistic. Is there any push in the legislature at all to curtail HOAs having mandatory watering of grass and anything like that? Is there any sort of
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Oh,
optimistic, you know?
Be optimistic about rain, do not be optimistic about the weather.
Does anyone else have any questions? So if not, we'll continue on. Mayor Harvey.
Elliott Branch has kind of two permits. And so you're saying the more restricted permit would be you can't use English like water if you go into stage 4.
If it's a new permit,
No, if this is permitted 10 years old.
so it probably predates that, and they have what's called historic. That's what. So they're on the same program as this neighbor.
Well, they do have 2 levels of permit. Oh, I know that. So, I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the more restricted one, but are there more than 2 levels of restricted permits?
Yes, there are.
Okay,
And that's all available on our website, by the way, if you want technical information,
yeah,
permitting information, all of that stuff is on our website. If you
Yeah.
can't find it, call the office and we'll help you find it.
Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. We really
You're welcome.
appreciate all the information.
that was very helpful.
I'm happy to come in anytime. We call this on the Cody Pope. Forgive me, I'm gonna want to talk about 2 very short things. I know you guys are running behind. We are doing water well checkup with Texas AgriLife. If anybody has a private well that they'd like to have tested, go to our website and get the information, or I'll leave this flyer up here on the podium. I think it's $15. Pretty good deal, and it kids age 9 to 14, we give a summer camp scholarship at Aquarina Springs. What do you call it now? San Marcos Springs. And it's a great, you know, you spend a week and you learn a lot. So have your kids go out with that. And
I do have a question for you. They're also built, back there, they're putting up a sewer system. I believe it's over the aquifer. Any dangers?
It is, what we don't want to see is a flood discharge into a creek. Because that equals. That's what
they want.
That's what they want, they're not gonna get that.
I mean, they're gonna put sprinklers in.
Right, so that's called the land application permit, and that's a far better if it's managed right. So I rely on citizens to keep an eye on those things and make sure that it's not run off this kind of creek that they're reminding the store. But that's a far better methodology. The only other methodology is emphasis of the.
So do you want to be district?
No discharge is great, but that's the least of.
Charlie, I do believe we'd like to invite you back again.
Okay.
Email you,
Yeah.
because we have a lot
You
of
guys got a lot of
questions.
work. Please call me.
And you have a lot of knowledge that we would love to learn more about.
Thank you.
Chloe, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you for answering all of our questions.
And I'll
Appreciate it.
leave a stack of cards.
And we're all gonna turn the water off.
You're already doing a great job.
We're gonna do better.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Charlie. Appreciate it. Have a good evening, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda will continue on at 7:24 PM. Is the take action to approve the minutes for the meeting we held on January 12th. The documents were sent to council for review. We'd like to, do they have any questions regarding the minutes?
No, I submitted mine earlier.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions before we ask for someone to file a motion? Thomas, do you have a question?
Motion.
Okay.
File a motion to approve the minutes.
A second.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, the next one, receive update and take appropriate action to approve the financial report for January 2026. And that's Mayor Emeritus, Mayor Harvey.
So far, so good. This is the fourth month, our year starts not January 1st, but October 1st. So, we, for the months, we show revenue over expenses of almost $60,000. We have, in the bank, nearly $2 million. Hopefully, of course. And, we raised water rates, and they show up, they have shown up on their February bill, so. Hopefully we'll get more revenues and build our reserves for needed repairs that,
There's quite a few repairs coming up.
yes, as usual, water systems, a lot of repairs. So, any questions?
Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you.
Mayor Harvey, if I may, we file a motion. We have to file a motion to accept the report.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Would anyone like to file a motion? Would anyone like to file a motion to accept Mayor Harvey's report?
I would like to file a motion to accept Mayor Harvey's financial report.
We need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Pardon I can. Thank you so much. Okay, the next item. Review and determine appropriate measures concerning cost of living adjustments for City of Hayes retirees. And I believe we have one retiree, is that correct? And Christine Doan will provide an update on that and then make a recommendation as well for action.
Yeah, so for some context, we do have one retiree enrolled in the Texas Municipal Retirement System, the retirement system that we use. She was our former city secretary.
So she reached out to us asking about cost of living adjustments. She heard of other retirement systems having them. So I reached out to TMRS. They advised that that is an option, but the city of Hayes is not opted into it. So we would have to file an ordinance to opt into cost of living adjustments. If we do opt to do that, there is an option to elect to cover either 30, 50, or 75% of the consumer price index. This would be retroactive, so the retiree would receive her first payment would be a large one to kind of get her caught up. And then after that, this would be annually adjusted. So TMRS would review everything and they would make the annual adjustment. So it would be up to the council to decide if we, one, would like to opt in to the cost of living adjustments. And then if we choose to do so, if the council chooses to do so, they would have to select whether to cover 30, 50, or 75%. In speaking with TMRS, this is extremely common. Most retirement systems do cover cost of living adjustments at the 75%. So that would be my suggestion to the council.
Thank you, Mr. Davino. Okay, okay.
What other cities are on the covering?
Quite a few, most of them around us. TMRS, Buda, Pyle are the two big ones, you know, our neighbors, but probably any city that you can think of is.
Mountain City?
Mhm,
And what did they cover, 75%?
75%, yes.
Okay, Christine's recommendation is that
Your
we,
favorites
yes, sir.
Is this retroactive to the date of retirement?
Yes,
And so, knowing that employee is, he's been retired a long time,
mhm,
and it would be kind of good to know, well, if we did 75, how much is it we're gonna have to pay? And we've also had other retirees that are deceased
correct.
that receive retirement, and if we did it retroactively, do we have to pay
Beneficiaries?
cost of living to the state?
Yes, this would be for retirees or their beneficiaries. So that would be applicable to beneficiaries as well.
I would suggest we ask them, you know, how much will this retroactive cost the city at 75, 50, and so forth.
If you'd like, we can move this forward to allow additional time to research. Provide the numbers to the council and our treasurer, and we can discuss again in March. Is that okay?
I mean, that's up to council's discretion if they choose to table it.
Yeah.
All those in favor of doing that to discuss it in March, we can add it to the agenda back in March.
We have no idea how much
Right.
money.
Right,
Right.
Thomas? Agree?
Yeah,
We're gonna add it, yes, sir.
I think a motion has to be made.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we
I make a
found-
motion that we table this till the next meeting while we research the money
Figures.
amount.
Okay, second? Candace Blake, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, we'll add that to the agenda to allow additional time for research. That was 9, number 10, which is E5E on new business. Consider and take appropriate action regarding a possible interlocal agreement with Hayes County to enforce certain rules within the city of Hayes. Christine, would you like to provide that update?
Correct. So, myself, Lydia, and Mayor David met with Jacob Limon, who is Judge Ruben Becerra of Hayes County, his chief of staff, to discuss an interlocal agreement. The information that was provided is that they have had similar interlocal agreements. The Wimberley is who Mr. Limon spoke about specifically. So he does think that this is something that would be possible. He asked us, you know, what exactly the city was hoping to have out of the interlocal, and, you know, we mentioned code enforcement. We spoke specifically about, you know, junk vehicles, excessive trash. So we have researched all the ordinances and our city code and sent over pertinent information for those disturbances, or, you know, that we would like code enforcement to be able to enforce. He is taking that over to Hayes County's legal team for review. And then we'll receive a response with some more concrete details on an interlocal agreement.
That's good progress. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Does anyone have any questions regarding that? That agenda item?
After,
Yes, ma'am.
after they review it, what would be the next steps? They'll either say yes or no, and then have they told you more information, what would be next if they're gonna enforce something or all?
Right, so it'll be exactly that, a yes or no. I mean, we told them specifically, he said, since we have Judge Bryant, a JP,
Yeah.
that we really just need a code enforcement officer.
Okay.
So, we're gonna get an answer of whether or not we can have a code enforcement officer through them who can actually write the tickets, and then the tickets would then be handled through Judge Bryant's, court.
If I may add one thing, the gentleman also said that they have a civil division with the county. And they said we also have the option to start sending a sheriff's vehicle into the city. That's another option. We either do this or that. And our preference is to do the interlocal and to have all of that done before sending sheriffs into, you know, pretty much going door to door, what have you. But that is a plan B option. Mhm. Yes,
What the amount of the cost that it would,
not been
City-
provided the contractual cost yet.
okay,
I believe for animal services, we pay $900 a year,
968.
$968, thank you. And so we'll, of course, it'll be much larger, but in that initial cleanup or what have you, code enforcement, we're hoping to see drastic change, much needed change.
It would enforce our city's rules or just the rules that the
Theirs.
county will do? Okay.
Theirs,
Okay.
not ours, but theirs. But we did provide a list of all, Christine did all the research, provided all the ordinances that we have on the books.
Yeah.
They asked for that so they could send it to their legal and civil division, so that then they can compile and say, here's what we offer, we can do. Does anyone else have any questions? Yes,
Josh
ma'am.
involved in this at all, or?
Yeah. Not yet, once we receive it, yeah.
That's actually a great point. So, Mr. Limon said that use of Hayes County legal comes at no cost to us, so he recommended really exhausting
Yeah.
their legal team.
Good idea.
But Josh, you know, was the one that recommended
Yeah.
trying to get into an interlocal with them. So using their legal team will save the city a lot of money.
That's good.
Right, which makes Mayor happy, Mayor Harvey happy, we're saving the money. We're taking action,
Yeah.
we're working on it. And we're grateful that Mayor Harvey was able to join us for that as well. We're to, what was it, San Marcos? Okay, the next item on our agenda is 5F, under new business, consider and take appropriate action on a request to allow a food bank to operate on city property. Councilman Rose McCorkle will take that, please.
I did the research on this. I'm gonna just give a really, there's no action to be taken, but a brief summary. In order to be able to do this, we have to be a nonprofit or a church, and we are a governing body, so we do not fit the description for actually establishing your, and you can't, the citizens that had asked wanted an outside refrigerator freezer against USDA code. It has to be in an air conditioned building. It has to be watched. Somebody has to man it. We have to serve about 100 people for them to feel like it's justified. But we can, the city can further investigate the possibility of applying to have a food distribution from here up to 4 times a year. It doesn't mean they will do it a single time, but we can apply for that. But they want to know there's a need, and it was suggested that it be only our community. That is not how it works. We have to show that we're going to serve, they'd like to serve about 100 people through that food pantry. And if we don't show that kind of need, then she said she can't say, no, we won't do it, but it is within their. She said,
Purview.
we tend to want to serve at least 100 people. If people do, if we ever have one, you have to document who comes and gets the food. You have to do numbers. How many people is this going to feed? So it is more than a refrigerator or freezer outside that people can access. It's huge.
Right.
So thank you for doing all that research.
You're welcome.
So the 150 people would have to be living in the city of Hayes.
The thing is that you have to make it available countywide. It is not something you can restrict to your
So
community.
150 people countywide.
Yeah, it
They were
could,
coming
or
regularly.
even any Central Texas food area.
Oh.
So, like these, I have here the list of places that people can go. You don't have to be on CHIP. You could say, I need it, and you are never refused. So any person in our community who wants and has a need, and it's self-stated, nobody's going to check income, nobody cares, then you can go to any one of them listed here and go anytime they're open and request that food. Anybody with an emergency could actually contact the food bank and say, I have an emergency, my family's starving, and they will provide food. So it's not like they're going, you can't do that. We don't get it's that we are not the right facility
Right.
to do
I
it.
was gonna say, how many other places around here are doing that already?
lot.
Are we even needed? Because if they can go get in other places.
It's, I think there are, what, 11 or so of them,
Within the area.
but Buda United, you know about that because you volunteer there. Santa Cruz and Buda, there's McCormick Middle School, there's Manchac United, ACC has a mobile pantry. And they have had the pantry idea, and she said very mixed success with those. They're not, because someone does have to man it. It can't just be open for the public.
Thank you
And there
for
are a
all of
lot of rules about how to store food, where you could put it.
food, right.
It has to be an air conditioned. You have to have internet access. Here, I think that's interesting, but that is a rule. You have to, I mean, air conditioned, you have to do, you have to show you're not doing, you're doing equal access.
Right.
Handicapped
Federally
people
funded.
have to be able to come into the building. I mean, all of it is there.
Thank you for all that extensive research
bet.
that you've done. Does anyone else have any questions thus far? Rose did a lot of research on this. Yeah.
Did want to add, that we also ran this by our attorney,
Yes.
right, who, discouraged.
It's a big, it could be a liability.
Yeah.
If someone gets sick from.
Our attorney has advised against that, the food pantry. That's fine. The next, does anyone else have any questions on that? No, thank you. We'll go to the
Well,
next item.
wait, to take appropriate action, what action we take?
There is no action to take.
Right, we're just gonna be an
We're
update.
just the report. Let y'all know what I found out.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Rose. The next item under new business is 5G. Receive update and take appropriate action regarding possible grant applications to assist in the completion of the drainage and other water projects. Thus far, we don't have an additional update. Now we are, and thank you so much for providing that information to us. We're definitely going to look into that, and we do, as we said, have a new staff member who can also assist with that. That is a very high priority for us. Very high priority. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, if I may, so I did sit in on that webinar for, the Texas Water Board. So it's definitely something that's on our radar. We actually met with our water, management company, PGMS, because the Texas Water Board, they mentioned that the projects have to be ready to proceed. Those projects will be prioritized. So we discussed with PGMS, projects for modernization specifically, because we think that could be projects that will be ready to proceed relatively quickly, because it's modernization, like updating the, yes, having the meters be updated. That's something that they've done recently. And we think that's something that would be a great benefit for both Elliott Ranch and the city of Hayes. So it is something that we're working on, and we do hope to apply for that grant specifically. Because we definitely have, infrastructure that could be updated.
Dire needs. Does anyone else have any questions? Mayor Harvey?
I do. Will we be contacting GrantWorks and working with them for this process?
Great question. We have already contacted GrantWorks to express interest in this grant specifically. I have not received a response from them yet. That would be personally my preference, because we have had a good experience with them over some of the other grant management companies that we've used. I would say that we're probably open to it, but I have already contacted GrantWorks.
So there may be procurement things that we have to clear with Joshua as well. All right, Mr. Katz. Anyone else have a question? The next item under new business is consider and take appropriate action on a request to update the part-time employee policy. And we'd like to ask Christine sent the supporting documents. Joshua Katz, our attorney with Bickerstaff, recommended that we update our part-time employee policy to make it a drug-free workplace for liability purposes, and so that it aligns with other cities, other cities across the board. And so we have this policy, and it's attached. I'd like to ask for someone to provide a motion to accept it if you've had a chance to review it. It's in your documents. It was also emailed to you in your packet. And it's, yes,
The only update was the,
drug-free policy.
that was attached to our previous.
Correct.
Okay.
Was that, I'm sorry, was what?
Drug-free policy
That was that it.
for liability purposes. It
Yeah.
aligns with, for example, insurance and other things that other cities have to protect their liabilities. Does anyone else have a question? Can we ask for a motion to accept the revised part-time policy?
I make the motion that we accept the policy of.
To update the part-time policy, thank you.
All right, second motion.
Second, all those in favor? Thank you. We'll go on next to unfinished business. J, receive updates and to take appropriate action on the construction of well number 3. Country Lane well. We have Mayor Harvey Davis, Mayor Emeritus Harvey Davis to provide that update.
I'll just use the podium.
Well, thank you, sir.
Well, number 3, as you know, is finished, and we have to get a final approval from PCEQ. And we submitted application to get that approval, and they came back with a list of things that they had questions about. And I think we addressed those, but that has not been sent to TCEQ. I think our mayor, city engineer has some personal issues. And so we're transferring that project over to our current city engineers, and hopefully we can get that all done and turn on the well, but it's there and ready to go. So
In the event of an emergency. Thank you so much. You may want to stay at the podium unless anyone has any questions regarding this item. We'll go to the next one. And it's receive updates and take appropriate action regarding the grant for new generators. And we have both Mayor Harvey and Christine Dillon to address her. Mayor Harvey?
well, our city engineer this afternoon gave us a update and estimate of the cost for the generators. It's about 50,000, I think, above what our grant is that we've been approved for. But my feeling is we need to move on this project. It's been languishing for far too long, and I would recommend to the council to move forward and let's get it done.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we'd like to ask for a motion to accept Mayor Harvey's recommendation to approve the cost estimate, which is $50,000 above the grant estimated cost for our new generators, which are required. It is a requirement that we have the generators on these.
Well, I added this will require a budget amendment, which I would, you might put that in the motion. We'll formally add that to the budget for the next meeting.
Okay. In this transaction?
Yeah.
Yes. So we would file a motion to both amend to include the cost expenditure of $50,000 increase over cost estimate.
That's what I was gonna say.
Please.
So I make a motion that we revise the budget to include the $50,000 necessary, or I don't know if that's the exact amount, but if I say 50,000, the approximately $50,000 to get our generators online. A new
Thank you.
generator online.
The second motion, please.
Second that.
Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you, sir. And thank you, council. The next item for unfinished business, receive updates and take appropriate action regarding Hayes Commons development applications to CCQ, obtain permission to construct, operate wastewater treatment facility within the city of Hayes, former ETJ. Mayor Harvey.
Oh, I did not see that. I think that this has moved along a little bit. And they're, I don't think the date has been set for a hearing, but they're moving, of course.
Is it end of March?
It's March, it was
It's in the end of March.
March 10th.
March
Yeah.
10th is still there.
Hearing is March 10th.
So this is really of great concern to the city, be a disaster to the wastewater system in our backyard. And we're trying to partner with SOS to oppose this so that it saves us funds, because they'll take the load of most of the attorney work instead of Josh. And
Have they accepted our offer for cost sharing and legal expenses?
not that I've heard.
Not yet. Thank you.
So you might follow up, Mayor, and
I will. Thank you, sir.
in fact, SOS.
I sure will. Thank you, Candace.
So I think I remember that when we talked about it before, SOS was recommending that, they're saying it's gonna be on Zoom,
Mhm.
but they recommended that particularly affected parties, status people attend in person, and other city residents that feel strongly about this should attend in person.
We all feel strongly about it.
Yes, we do.
Does anyone else have
So
any
you're
questions?
thinking, I'm sorry,
Go ahead, please.
attend in person, don't
To the
do
PC,
online. Okay.
yeah, well, I mean, it is online and you can certainly put in, I think you can always, before the meeting, put in your comments or something to be either read or at least tallied before, and they'll have that, but they're, I mean, they feel like the more people that show up, better.
Absolutely. Does anyone else have any questions regarding that agenda item? Thank you. The next one, thank you, Mayor Harvey. Receive updates and take appropriate action regarding Frontier's plan to install fiber lines within the city of Hayes. And that item will move forward to March because we do not have an update at this time. Do you have any other information regarding that?
As it was mentioned in the last meeting, an item will be tabled until summer. That's when they're expecting to try to pick the project back up. They're working on receiving joint use permits.
But they're putting those lines in the poles, not in the ground.
The
Fiber goes
underground,
underground.
yeah.
So who approves the joint use? Is that the residents or is that the city
So this,
neighborhoods?
that's the poles that are out there now. That's what do we have now, Spectrum?
Yeah, Spectrum now.
That's up there, and they're trying to get a joint use on their Spectrum power poles to put their line on there. They might not go underground.
Previous.
They might not go underground subdivision.
If they do joint, they may piggyback.
Okay.
They might put
It's with
their line on
the
the
other
pole, yeah.
Providers.
The next item, does anyone have any questions on that? Do we have questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, since they're a utility, if they piggyback off Spectrum, does that mean we give up the right to collect fees from them for using our right, our
No,
I'm not
easements?
sure about It's an ask-
something we should think about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, who gets it?
Right, right. We'll absolutely ask about that. And we don't have an agreement yet in place, things like that. Most definitely do a very large Q&A before we agree to anything. The next one is receive, update, and take appropriate action regarding Elliott Ranch well number 2. The repairs. Would you like to do that? Would you like me to do that?
You please go ahead, because you talked to the city engineer.
Thank you. I did speak to, we did a couple of things. We did a camera study on the Elliott Ranch well. AWWT has completed that camera study. Zach with PGMS, we followed up with him. We hadn't heard from him. He sent back a message and saying, yes, it was completed. We said, did you do it? Do you have it? Do you have the tape? What have you? He said, yes, they did it on that day, the Friday that they were supposed to do it. We do have the footage of the camera study. Then we said, okay, now send it to our engineer. We'd like a copy, a copy to be sent to the engineer. They said we did it also on the 11th. They confirmed that they did all of the work that they were supposed to do. Then we followed up with Zach and said, did you now send it to the engineer? He also sent it to the engineer. I confirmed this afternoon, Mayor Harvey and I did. We spoke to Tom Turk, our city engineer, and he confirmed that he does have the study and that they are working on that. And he's working on that both with his group and with Kava, the well experts. And so we should have information very soon. I would imagine as early as next week, we'll have some more information for you. And we will definitely keep everyone. Pardon?
Do you want to share a little bit about it?
Sure, would you like to do that? The one that we had here. Mayor Harvey, Christine and I met with PGMS. We asked them to come to City Hall. We had a variety of questions for them. One about, for example, why the well habitated in Elliott Ranch. Was it a water table issue? What have you? They said that they had not seen anything like that in a very long time. And we said, what happened? And they said, it could be water table, it could be this, it could be that. We went through all of the scenarios, like after we paid to pull the well first, and then we paid to pull the pump and motor. And then we talked about if the pump and motor is at 90%, and why would we replace it? Then they said, well, it's like this, the average span of those, the life expectancy of that product, the pump and motor is 8 to 12 years. Are we at 5? We're about 5. So they said, if you've already paid X amount of dollars, I think we're at 13, we're at 9 to 13,000 for lifting it, pulling the well, lifting the pump and motor, testing the pump and motor. He said, if you put it right back in, the life expectancy of that pump and motor at Elliott Ranch well number 2 could be another 5 to 7 years max. And so that if you've already, their logic is if you've already pulled it, replace it. Because if you replace it, then you're just saving that estimated $10,000, on having to do it again because you already have it out. I was thinking, well, if it's at 90%, then, why are we spending all this money for a pump and motor in the cost estimate of about, is it 34 or 50 range altogether? Was it 34?
Something,
Right? I think it's about 35,000 plus the 13,000 plus the rest.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a large expenditure to bring that online. Of course, every message that we send to PGMS, Tom Turk, and what have you is time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. And I'm sure they appreciate that. But it is, especially considering the drought, considering that both the city of Hays and Elliott Ranch right now are on one well each, one well apiece. And so it is the highest priority for us that we get our wells in very good health and back online and what have you. Now there is Zach, which is Patrick is the dad, Zach is the son. They also brought another gentleman. Was it George? I forget his name, pardon me. But the other gentleman is also an expert in this field. He's been in the business a long time, and he provided additional details as to, why could this be happening? What's happening? Is it water table? Is it this? Is it that? We all met for about an hour and a half to discuss this because it is a very big priority to us. And so they did provide a lot of information, and we did tell them we brought in experts. We're having our city engineer take care of it. We hired Kava, who's another vendor to, it's a sub to the prime. So our prime is Tom Turk, and then the sub is Kava to our prime. So they are working as a consultant under Tom Turk. And we checked in with Tom today, and he says that they are reviewing camera, they're doing this, they're doing that, and so they're gonna have recommendations for us soon on how to resolve that problem. But it is, I want to reassure y'all, go ahead.
Just add,
Yes.
no, initially Zach with PGMS thought that there was a hole in one of the pipes, so they pulled the well, they found no hole. Then the idea of it being a water table issue was floated around. After we spoke with PGMS, Patrick, the owner, mentioned that typically if it were a water table issue, it's something that we would see a gradual decline and not this immediate drop off like we had. So they don't think it's a water table issue, depending on what the camera study shows. Either, and correct me if I'm wrong, based on what the camera study shows, they're going to either proceed with replacing the complete motor and then trying to get it back online, or we will then have to do an additional pump test. So either based on the results of the camera study, it's gonna either be A, we're gonna go ahead and replace all the pump, or B, we need more testing and it's gonna be a pump test. There, so we're waiting to hear.
Followed by replacement of if they deem that to be the cause as well. So it's expense with hopefully a very good solution to us.
What's the pump test entail? What is it for? What are they testing for?
I think Kava's gonna come in and do that for us. PGMS and Kava are taking care of that.
Okay.
As the hydrologist, sir, you would know the answer to.
I know hydraulics are pumping. There's
You
a
would
lot
know
of,
the answer to that question.
there's a lot of
You're a
pump,
hydrologist.
there's different tests for
We'll make
different
sure we
pumps.
invite you to the next meeting so you can provide the update. We'll do that. Anyone have any questions regarding that? Yes, Steve, please.
Lydia, have they given you any kind of time frame? I mean, I know you're saying.
Yes, Tom Turk this afternoon said that as early as next week, he would have a response regarding the camera test to tell us what their professional opinion is based on the camera test. They have the thumb drive, they're going to review, they're going to do a joint review of that, the content of the thumb drive, and we also asked them, we have a thumb drive too, because we're going to review it. Now we don't have, I guess Tony could do the hydrology part of it. Our experts are going to handle that. We will have a copy of it, but Tom Turk and his team will have it.
I don't think they were given a set date, for
Right.
when it'd be back online because they don't have an answer to what's causing the issue yet. So he hasn't been able to give us a date because we don't really know.
Oh, is when we're bringing the well back online, or when we'll have an answer as far as the camera test? I'm sorry, what was your question? Both.
Referring to.
Based on the findings of the camera test, and we did confirm with Tom this afternoon that he had received it, what have you, he has all the experts in place, they're going to do it, then we would have an answer early next week to know what the findings are of that camera test. The camera test in and of itself was pricey, but very much needed because we already had pulled the well, pulled the pump and motor. Next thing is to do to actually test the entirety of the well with the camera study.
Acknowledged, like by the engineers, by PGMS, by us, that summer is approaching, so it's a massive priority to get a resolution as soon as possible. Because we know, summer is coming and the drought's only gonna get worse and will go up, I'm sure.
Right. So we will keep you absolutely in the loop. As we receive the information at 15, we'll provide the updates as soon as they let us. Do you have any other questions regarding that? Oh, yes, please.
I just had a quick question about
Please.
well number 3. Does it have the capacity to run water up the hill to the storage tanks at Elliott Ranch? I was just unaware of how it's operating.
I don't think so. My guess is no.
You said no,
But
Mayor Harvey
we
said
can
no?
definitely.
Mayor Harvey, did you say no?
I didn't say a thing.
Oh, I heard someone say no.
Someone said no.
No, I thought you all moved that out.
Right, yeah, I don't believe so. And I remember there was a pretty lengthy discussion about when they were connecting well number 3 to the current storage tanks here.
The answer was no to that. Yeah.
Right.
They did say the answer was no to that question. We did. We had a whole bunch of questions for them and, we're not the water experts, they are, but we picked their brains and then some so that we could
Makes
then.
sense. It seems hard. Yeah.
It is. And so we did ask a lot of questions. We documented everything in our meeting. And then we asked them very specific things on how we wanted follow the processes, but every message that we send with time is of the essence. I can tell you that I do that.
Yeah.
Yes. Did that, did Zach bring Joe Vickers?
No,
No, it wasn't Joe.
no, that was George.
I don't think it was George.
I think it's George.
I know we,
I'll check my notes.
Joe Vickers the last time when well number one came.
No. No, I know they mentioned that name, but no, he did not come that day. There were 3 PGMS folks. Very well versed, know their business, all of that.
But I did also want to add that, Dee, you had asked if Oak Forest had the capability because we have previously, sent water over to them.
That was the backup plan when well number one was there.
And so they do not have, that's a question that we confirm with PGMS. And so conveniently for them, they can receive water, but their system isn't set up to be able to support giving it to.
We summed it up
us
as they're
or
takers
LA
and not givers.
Yeah.
I think Dawn came in with a plan, because I got an email about it,
Mhm.
but it was like, they sort of time.
Do they only get water in the case of an emergency or they just tap it regularly?
Oh, there was a incident, right? There was some emergency,
Right.
but they didn't get approved from us, so.
They did. They got approval from Mayor Davis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh.
it's an emergency situation and
His
they
name was-
take and pay, but,
his name was Tim Young.
Tim Young, yes, thank you, it was a George. I'm going to call him George. But, he did say. They were all very helpful to us. We had so many questions. They were here at length. Then we conveyed all that information and said, now we want you to keep in contact also with our engineer. So not only here, but then we sent them there. Then we went collaborative efforts there. Then we said, now bring in Kava, do all of this stuff. So there's so much going on. And of course, it's a huge priority for us. We want to take care of both your wells and ours.
Yeah, I appreciate
Well, we appreciate you very much. And so as soon as we receive information, we'll absolutely convey it to you, because we know you're waiting. Does anyone else have any questions? No? Thank you. The next item, unfinished business, is O, receive update and take appropriate action on Elliott Ranch well filter feasibility study. The feasibility study, as per our last meeting, is on hold, contingent upon, it is an option, but first we need it up and running, and then we'll put a filter in it. So that's the plan. We need to make sure that it's
Do we need a filter? That's the thing.
recommended. Yes,
Didn't we vote on that already, that we will install that filter?
contingent upon it being operational.
Yes.
We did at the
So
last
just
meeting.
So y'all know that
Yeah.
that's already.
We did say the expense is well worth it. Now, there was a discussion with PGMS when we said we're gonna invest this money in the filter and what have you. And that's when they said, or is this a water table issue? And that's why they're second sand. And not necessarily that it lacks a filter. But that they're over pumped. So that's why Kava has been brought in. To clarify that.
That helps that.
Because why are we gonna put a filter if they're having problems with sand, if it's over pumpage or the well is coming to its life expectancy? But we'll know more very soon. The last item is E. Receive update on upcoming election on Saturday, May 2nd. Would you like to provide the update, please? Christine? Thank you.
So as we know, an election will be held on Saturday, May 2nd. 3 positions are scheduled for election. The 3 are mayor, council member place 2, council member place 3. For mayor, we had 1 application submitted, and it was Miss Brian Valdez. For council member place 2, we had 1 application submitted, the incumbent Rose McCorkle. For council member place 3, we had 2 applications submitted, one being the incumbent, council member Tony Valdez, and the other being Kathleen or Kat Mars.
Mars.
I'm the only one can opponent, huh?
Yes,
Oh.
so 2 positions will be unopposed, and then the 3rd will go to the election.
You know, I built town.
The first day of early voting by personal appearance is April 20th, and that will run from April 20th through April 28th. And then, so the filing period was open from January 14th, 2026, and then it closed on Friday, February 13th, 2026. So the filing period is now closed. And the first day to vote is April 20th.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, go ahead.
Just an added piece here. There is, of course, a primary election going on now, and early voting is from February 17th to the 27th. So go out there and vote.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? Yes, sir.
But we have to report the results of the filings to the council. Office.
Yes, of the applications that have been,
Yeah,
yes. Mhm.
okay.
Yep, so they can make sure that they have,
Been done or
so
not?
they know who's going to be on that ballot, yes.
Does anyone else have any questions? Anyone like to file a motion for adjournment? It's February 17th, Tuesday, 8:09 PM.
I make the motion to file to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. Second? All those in favor? Aye. Meeting is, yes, sir.
I was about to.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much. Yes?
Oh, yeah, I want one. Put it in the, it's everything's.